I'm sitting alone in my apartment tonight, staring at the empty chair across from me. That chair where Leah used to curl up every evening with her cup of tea. 3 years we spent together. 3 years of building dreams, making plans, believing we had forever. Then one cold March evening, she came home early and said she needed to talk. Her voice sounded different, distant. That was the night everything changed. Before I share what happened, let me know where you are watching from today. Drop your location in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already. Now let me take you back to the beginning to understand how a love I thought was unbreakable shattered in just one conversation. I need to give you some context about who I am and how Leah and I found each other. My name does not matter much, but I am a 28-year-old software engineer working at a tech company in Austin, Texas. I have always been the steady type. The guy who shows up on time, pays his bills early, and believes that loyalty means something. Some people might call that boring. I used to call it being responsible. I met Leah 3 years ago at a small coffee shop on South Congress Avenue. It was one of those places with mismatched furniture and local art on the walls. I was there working on my laptop when she walked in. 26 years old, brown hair that fell in soft waves past her shoulders, and a smile that could light up the entire room. She was a freelance graphic designer, creative, and free-spirited in ways I never was. She ordered the same drink I had, some complicated oat milk latte thing, and when she noticed we matched, she laughed and sat down at my table without even asking. That was Leah, bold, spontaneous, full of life. Within an hour, I knew I wanted to see her again. Within a month, I knew I was falling in love. The first 2 years were everything I had ever dreamed a relationship could be. We took weekend trips to small towns around Texas. We cooked dinner together almost every night, making a mess of my kitchen while laughing at our failed attempts at fancy recipes. We stayed up late watching movies, her head on my shoulder, my arm around her waist. I felt like the luckiest man alive. 6 months before everything fell apart, we decided to move in together. I found us a nice 2-bedroom apartment with big windows and a balcony overlooking a small park. I thought it was the natural next step. I had even started looking at engagement rings, imagining how I would propose. Maybe on the balcony at sunset. Maybe at that coffee shop where we first met. I had it all planned out in my head, but looking back now, I can see the cracks that were forming. I just chose to ignore them. It started with small comments. Leah would come home from work and sigh heavily, looking around our apartment like it was a prison cell. She would say things like, "Do you ever feel like every day is exactly the same? Wake up, work, come home, cook, watch television, sleep, repeat. It is so predictable." I would shrug and say something like, "That is just life, babe. That is what adults do." I thought I was being realistic. Now I realize I was missing the warning signs. She started bringing up her single friends more often. "Jessica went to that new rooftop bar downtown last night. She said it was amazing. And Brittany is going to Miami next weekend with some guy she just met. Can you imagine?" I could not imagine. And honestly, I did not want to. I was happy with our quiet life. I thought she was too. One night she made a joke that did not feel like a joke at all. We were sitting on the couch watching some reality show she liked, and out of nowhere she said, "Sometimes I feel like we are already an old married couple and we are not even engaged yet." I laughed awkwardly. "Is that a bad thing?" She did not answer. She just turned back to the television. After that, she started going out more. Girls' nights that happened twice a week instead of twice a month. Coming home at 2 in the morning smelling like cigarette smoke and tequila. I tried to be understanding. Everyone needs time with their friends, right? Once I suggested I could come along. "I would love to meet your friends properly," I said. "We could make it a group thing." Leah shook her head quickly. "It is just a girls' night. You would be bored. Trust me." I trusted her. That was my mistake. Then came that Friday night in March. I remember it was unusually cold for Austin, and I had made dinner. Chicken parmesan, her favorite. I set the table, nice, lit a candle, put on some soft music. I thought maybe we needed a romantic night in, just the two of us. Leah came home earlier than usual. She did not seem excited about the dinner. She barely looked at it. Instead, she sat down on the couch and patted the cushion next to her. "We need to talk," she said. "I have been thinking about this for a while." My heart started pounding. Those 4 words never lead anywhere good. I sat down next to her, trying to read her face, but she would not meet my eyes. "What is going on?" I asked, my voice already shaking. She took a deep breath, and then she said the words that would echo in my head for months to come. "I love you," Leah started, and for a split second, I felt relief wash over me. But then she continued, "But I am not ready for the boring couple life. I want to have fun before settling down with someone safe like you." I sat there frozen, trying to process what I had just heard. Boring couple life. Someone safe like you. Each word felt like a knife sliding between my ribs. "What does that even mean?" I managed to ask. Leah finally looked at me, and her eyes were not cold or cruel. They were almost apologetic, which somehow made it worse. "I am 26 years old," she said. "I feel like life is passing me by, and I have not really experienced anything. We met, we fell in love, we moved in together. It all happened so fast, and now I look at my life and I think, is this it? Is this all there is?" "So what are you saying?" My voice cracked. "You want to break up so you can go party." She winced at how I phrased it. "It is not just about partying. I want to travel on my own. I want to meet new people. I want to figure out who I am outside of being someone's girlfriend. I do not want to wake up at 40 and regret not living my life." "And what about us?" I asked. "What about everything we built together 3 years?" "Leah, we have been together 3 years. We lived together. I thought we were going to get married." She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. I could not stand her touching me right then. "Maybe after I figure things out, we can find our way back to each other," she said softly. "You are my safe place. I know you will always be there. And maybe when I am ready to settle down, we can try again." I let those words sink in. You are my safe place. I will always be there. When she is ready to settle down. She was asking me to wait, to sit on the shelf like a backup plan while she went out and lived her life. And then when she had her fill of excitement and adventure, she expected me to be right where she left me, ready to welcome her back with open arms. Something shifted inside me in that moment. The hurt was still there, crushing my chest. But underneath it, a cold clarity was forming. I was not going to be anyone's backup plan. I was not going to be the safe, boring option someone settled for after they ran out of better choices. I stood up from the couch. Leah looked surprised, like she expected me to argue, to beg, to promise I would change and become more exciting. Instead, I said, "If that is what you want, I will give you all the freedom you need. But understand this, Leah. I am not going to wait for you. I am not your safety net. When you walk out that door, this is over. Not paused. Over." Her eyes widened. "You do not mean that. You are just upset right now." "I mean every word I said. You made your choice. Now I am making mine." The next few hours were a blur of packing. I helped her load her clothes into suitcases, her books into boxes. Neither of us spoke much. What was there to say? She had already said everything that mattered, and I had given her my answer. When she was finally ready to leave, she stood at the door with her bags looking back at me one last time. "I really do love you, you know." "Yeah," I said. "Just not enough." She left. The door closed behind her with a soft click that sounded deafening in the sudden silence. I stood in the middle of my apartment, surrounded by the empty spaces where her things used to be. Her favorite mug was still on the kitchen counter. A book she had been reading was still on the nightstand. Little pieces of her left behind. That first week was brutal. I barely ate. I could not sleep. I would lie in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying our conversation over and over. What had I done wrong? Was I really that boring? Was our life together really so insufferable that she needed to escape? My best friend Marcus showed up on day 3 with a pizza and a case of beer. He worked at the same company as me, one of those solid friends who showed up without being asked. He did not say much at first, just sat next to me on the couch, handed me a slice, and let me talk. When I told him what Leah had said, his jaw tightened. She called you boring and safe after 3 years after everything you did for her. I nodded miserably. That is insane, man. He shook his head. You are one of the most reliable people I know. You have your life together. You are going places. And she threw that away because she wants to party. Maybe she is right, I mumbled. Maybe I am boring. Marcus put down his beer and looked me dead in the eyes. Listen to me. You are not boring. You are stable. There is a difference. The right woman will see that as a gift, not a burden. Leah just was not the right woman. My sister Sophie called the next day. She lived in Dallas and had heard the news through our mom. She did not mince words either. She does not deserve you, Sophie said firmly. Any woman would be lucky to have someone as loyal and caring as you. Do not you dare let her make you think there is something wrong with who you are. Their words helped, but the pain was still overwhelming. I spent nights lying awake wondering if I would ever feel whole again. 2 weeks after Leah left, I hit rock bottom. I was lying on my couch on a Saturday afternoon, unshowered, surrounded by takeout containers, watching some mindless show I did not even care about. And suddenly I felt disgusted with myself. This was not who I wanted to be. If I stayed like this, Leah would be right. I would be exactly what she said I was. Boring, stagnant, going nowhere. I got up, threw away the trash, took a long shower, and made a decision. If Leah wanted to go find herself, fine. I was going to find myself too. But I was going to do it differently. I was going to become the best version of myself, not for her, but for me. The next morning, I woke up at 5:30 and went to the gym. It was something I had always wanted to do, but never committed to. Leah hated waking up early, so I had adjusted my schedule to match hers. No more. I started lifting weights, running on the treadmill, pushing my body in ways I never had before. I signed up for a cooking class on weekends. Not just heating up frozen dinners or making basic pasta, but real cooking. French techniques, Asian cuisine. Things I had always been curious about, but never explored. I joined a book club at the local library. A small group of people who met every other Tuesday to discuss novels and share recommendations. It was not exciting in the way Leah would define exciting, but it was fulfilling. I was meeting new people, expanding my mind, building a life outside of work. Speaking of work, I scheduled a meeting with my boss, Mr. Patterson. He was a gray-haired man in his 50s who had always seemed to appreciate my work ethic. I told him I was ready for more responsibility, more challenges, more growth. He seemed surprised, but pleased. I have always seen potential in you, he said. Let us see what we can do. And 3 months after Leah left, I barely recognized my own life. My body had transformed from soft and average to lean and strong. The gym had become my morning sanctuary. I looked forward to those early workouts, the burn in my muscles, the clarity it brought to my mind. The promotion came through, senior engineer, with a significant salary increase, and my own small team to manage. Mr. Patterson called me into his office to deliver the news personally. You have really stepped up these past few months, he said. Whatever lit this fire under you, keep it burning. Around the same time, a new colleague transferred to our Austin office from Seattle. Her name was Jenna, a project manager with a quick wit and an easy laugh. We started talking during lunch breaks, comparing notes on the challenges of our jobs, sharing stories about our lives outside work. Jenna was not interested in me romantically, and I was not ready for that anyway. But she became a genuine friend, something I realized I had been lacking. Through her, I met a whole new group of people. Weekend hikes at nearby state parks, kayaking trips on the lake, happy hours that actually felt happy. I ran my first half marathon that spring, crossed the finish line exhausted and euphoric with Marcus cheering me on from the sidelines. It was something the old me would never have attempted. Now I could not imagine going back. I even bought a new car, a sleek little sports coupe I had dreamed about for years. Leah had always said it was impractical, that we should save for something sensible. But Leah was not here anymore, and for the first time in a long time, I was doing things for myself. My sister came to visit and could not believe the change. I have never seen you this happy, Sophie said, looking around my newly redecorated apartment. You are glowing. Seriously. I realized she was right. Somewhere along the way, the pain had faded. Not disappeared entirely, but transformed into something else. Motivation, self-discovery, growth. And the ironic thing, the life I was living now was anything but boring. I kept Leah on social media for a while, mostly out of curiosity. I saw her posts, club nights with flashing lights, beach trips with girlfriends. Then the photos started featuring a new guy. His name was Derek, I learned from a comment thread. He was older than her, maybe mid-30s, with the kind of flashy style that screamed money. Designer clothes, expensive watches, a convertible, Leah and Derek in Cabo, Leah and Derek at some upscale restaurant, Leah and Derek at a rooftop party overlooking the city. She looked happy, or at least she looked like she was trying very hard to appear happy. The first time I saw those photos, I felt a sharp pang of something. Jealousy hurt loss. But as the weeks passed and more photos appeared, I noticed something else. The smile in her eyes did not quite match the smile on her lips. She looked tired, thinner than before. There was a manic energy to her posts, like she was performing for an audience. Marcus caught me scrolling through her feed one evening and took my phone away. "Stop torturing yourself, man. She is out there living her fun life. Let her. You focus on yourself." He was right. That night I unfollowed Leah on everything. Instagram, Facebook, all of it. I did not need to know what she was doing anymore. My life was my own now, and it was better than it had ever been. 6 months after our breakup, I was coming home from a Saturday night out with friends. We had gone to a comedy show downtown, then grabbed late-night tacos from a food truck. I was in a great mood, laughing at something stupid Marcus had said when my phone buzzed in my pocket. It was a number I had not deleted. Leah. I stared at the screen for a long moment, watching her name glow in the darkness of my car. My thumb hovered over the decline button, but something, curiosity maybe, made me answer. "Hello?" I said carefully. "Hi." Her voice sounded different, smaller, tired. "I know it has been a long time. I know I probably have no right to call, but I really need to talk to you. Please." I sat in my parked car, listening to her breathe on the other end of the line. "What do you want, Leah?" I made a huge mistake. She was crying now. I could hear it. "I miss you so much. Can we please meet just to talk? There is so much I need to say." Against my better judgment, I agreed. Tomorrow. The coffee shop where we first met. Because there was a poetry to that, even if it was a painful one. I arrived at the coffee shop 15 minutes early. The same mismatched furniture, the same local art on the walls, the same spot by the window where a bold, beautiful woman had once sat down at my table and changed my life. I ordered my usual and sat down watching the door. When Leah walked in, I almost did not recognize her. She had lost weight, and not in a healthy way. Her cheekbones were too sharp, her collarbones too prominent. The dark circles under her eyes told stories of sleepless nights. The vibrant, glowing woman I had loved was gone, replaced by someone who looked hollowed out. She spotted me and made her way over, sitting down across from me with a shaky exhale. "Thank you for coming." "You look tired," I said. It was not meant to be cruel, just an observation. She laughed bitterly. "I am tired. I am exhausted, actually." She paused, gathering herself. "I owe you an explanation and an apology." "Okay." I kept my voice neutral. "I am listening." The story came out in fragments, like she had been holding it in for too long and now could not control the flood. Derek, the exciting new boyfriend with the flashy lifestyle, turned out to be exactly what you would expect. He was not interested in a relationship. He was interested in having a good time, and Leah was just one of many women he was having a good time with. She found out 3 months in when she showed up at his apartment unannounced and found someone else there. He was not even apologetic, just shrugged and said they had never agreed to be exclusive. After Derek, she tried to keep the party going on her own. More clubs, more trips, more desperate attempts to capture the freedom she thought she wanted. But it all felt empty. Her freelance work suffered. Clients stopped calling, her savings dwindled. The friends she had been so envious of started settling down themselves, getting engaged, having babies. She found herself increasingly alone. "I kept thinking about you," she said, tears streaming down her face. "Every time something good happened, I wanted to tell you. Every time something bad happened, I wanted you to hold me. I realized that all the excitement I was chasing was nothing compared to what I threw away." She reached across the table and grabbed my hand. "I was so stupid. I threw away the best thing in my life for nothing. I want to come back. I want us to try again. Please." I looked at her hand on mine, at the desperation in her eyes, at this woman I had once loved with everything I had, and I felt nothing. Not anger, not satisfaction, not love. Just a quiet emptiness where all those feelings used to live. I gently pulled my hand away. "I am sorry you went through all that, Leah. I genuinely am. Nobody deserves to be treated the way Derek treated you." "Then you understand," she said hopefully. "You understand why I am here, why I need you. I understand why you think you need me," I said carefully. "But I am not the same person you left 6 months ago. And you are not looking for me. You are looking for the safety and stability you threw away. There is a difference." Her face crumpled. "That is not true. I love you. I always loved you. You called me boring." The words came out calm, but they carried weight. "You said you wanted fun before settling with someone safe like me. Do you have any idea how that made me feel? I spent weeks wondering what was wrong with me, wondering why I was not enough." "I was wrong," she whispered. "I was so wrong." "Maybe you were. But here's the thing, Leah. I am not wrong. There is nothing wrong with being stable. There is nothing wrong with wanting to build a life with someone. I was not boring. I was loyal. I was committed. I was ready to give you everything. And you did not want that. You wanted to see what else was out there." I stood up and placed some bills on the table for the coffee. She stared up at me with red-rimmed eyes. "You knew what you wanted 6 months ago," I continued. "And it was not me. So you left. That was your choice, and I respect it. But you cannot come back now that the fun is over and expect me to be your safety net again. I deserve better than that." "Please," she begged. "I have changed. I know what I want now." I looked at her one last time. This woman I had planned to marry. This woman whose absence had nearly destroyed me. And now standing here, I realized she had no power over me anymore. "I hope you find what you are looking for," I said sincerely. "I really do. But it will not be with me. I deserve someone who chooses me first, not someone who comes back to me after everything else failed." I walked out of that coffee shop without looking back. The door closed behind me, and I stood on the sidewalk for a moment, breathing in the cool evening air. I expected to feel something, triumph maybe, or grief, but all I felt was peace. A quiet, settled peace that had been growing inside me for months, finally fully bloomed. I got in my car and drove home with the windows down, letting the wind mess up my hair. I thought about all the mornings at the gym, all the new friends, all the ways I had grown. I thought about the man I was becoming and the man I used to be, and I realized that Leah leaving was the best thing that ever happened to me. Not because she was bad necessarily, but because losing her forced me to find myself. It stripped away the comfortable routine I had been hiding in and pushed me to actually live, to grow, to become someone I was proud of. It has been a year now since that conversation in our apartment. My life looks completely different than I ever imagined it would. I am in a great place at work, leading a team I genuinely enjoy. I have a circle of friends who show up for me and push me to be better. My health is the best it has ever been. And yes, I am seeing someone new. Her name is not important yet because we are still in the early stages. But it feels different this time. It feels like two whole people coming together, not one person completing another. She chose me from the start, not as a backup plan, not as a safe option, but as her first choice. The lesson I learned from all of this is simple but powerful. Being safe and stable is not boring. It is valuable. It is rare. The right person will see those qualities as gifts, not burdens. And if someone cannot appreciate what you offer, they are not your person. Never be someone backup plan. Never let anyone make you feel like you need to apologize for who you are. You deserve to be chosen first, not settled for last. And sometimes the people who leave us do us the biggest favor of all. They make room for us to become who we were always meant to be. And they make room for the right person to finally walk through the door. I want to hear from you now. Have you ever had someone make you feel like you were not enough only to realize later that you were more than enough all along? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And if you have not already, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss future stories like this one. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of this community. I hope you go forward knowing your worth and never settling for anyone who does not see it. Take care of yourself. You deserve it.